Okay guys, in this video, I'm going to be showing you how to create the 6.54 safety key. Go ahead and make a sketch on the XY plane. We're going to be creating two rectangles. One rectangle like so, and one rectangle like this. Now let's dimension this. From left to right, our overall width is 4.7. Our overall height is 1.9. This first rectangle has a width of 1.12, and this rectangle here has a height of 1.12. Once you have that, go ahead and extrude. We're going to be selecting both rectangles, and instead of going in the default direction or the flip direction, we're going to be splitting it across our XY plane with a distance of 2.4. Once you have that, we're going to be creating a sketch on this surface right here. Go ahead and click on Project Geometry and select this surface or this rectangle, and we're going to be creating some rectangles. The first rectangle here and the second rectangle here. I'm also going to be drawing in an over-exaggerated triangle. Now let's add some dimensions. The first rectangle that we made has a dimension of 0.5, and then from this line of the rectangle to this line here, this is going to be 1.4. I don't need to add our last dimension here, because if I add this and this, I would end up getting this, which would equal to 2.4, which is our overall depth. I'm then going to use my coincident constraint to lock in the point of this triangle to the midpoint here. I'm going to click on my equals constraint to make this line of my triangle and this line of my triangle equal. I'm then going to dimension it to have an angle of 60, and that's it. Once you have this, we're going to then do what's called trimming. Trimming is like the picture it shows. It looks like a pair of scissors. We're just going to be trimming away any lines that we don't need to extrude. Let's just double check and make sure that this line and this line remain equal, and they do, and that's all that we need to have. Go ahead and finish your sketch. Go to Extrude and select all of the profiles that we drew. We're going to be cutting this, so click to cut and say OK. I then need to add a cutout here, and this is going to be a rectangle like this. The first dimension I'm going to add is my depth of this cutout, which is 0.4, and the width of this is going to be 1. I'm also going to locate this rectangle by clicking on the front face of my overall part and this first line, and this is 0.7. I don't need to add any more information because all I'm going to do is cut out this section right here. I don't really need to worry about this above my yellow line because there's nothing to cut out. Finish your sketch and click Extrude, select your whole rectangle and switch it to cut and say OK. Next, let's make a sketch on this face. I'm going to repeat that same process of just creating a random rectangle and then dimensioning it. This also has a cut-in depth of 0.4, a width of 1.4, and a location of 0.5. Once you have that, finish your sketch and extrude the entire rectangle to make sure that it's cutting through the entire part. Next, we're going to add a circular cutout here as well as a cutout here. I'm going to combine these two cutouts into one extrusion to save time. Make a sketch on that face, create a circle, and create a rectangle like so. Let's go ahead and dimension where each of these shapes are located. Our circle is 1.38 from this face here and 0.56 from the bottom. This circle has a diameter of 0.5. This rectangular cutout is 0.76 away from the front and cuts into the part 0.44. Once you have those 5 dimensions, finish your sketch and extrude. Select your circle as well as your rectangle, change it to cut and through all, and say OK. We have now completed 6.54 safety key. So let's save this as 6.54 safety key. Once you have completed this part, we can then put it on a title block. The title block should have our front view, our top view, and our side view. We can leave it at a 1:1 scale because everything fits nicely, and we can say OK, and everything is put in. We also need to add our isometric view. But as you can see, it's a little too large, so I'm going to change the scale to 1/2 and make sure that it is shaded, and say OK, and there's our part. We can now start adding our dimensions. The first thing that I need to teach you is that anytime you have a circular feature, you need to add center lines. So adding center lines on Inventor is relatively simple. You just click on the center mark button and then click on the circle. Right click and say OK. We also need to add a centerline bisector, which means anytime that we see a circular object as a flat view, we need to add a bisecting line. So let me show you what that looks like. And as you can see, we have a long dash, short dash, long dash. We need to do that on the top view as well as the side view, and that's it. It is your responsibility to finish dimensioning this and also changing the drawing name to 6.54 safety key. If you guys have any questions, please let me know, and I'll see you guys in the next video.